What's up, positive bitches? If you are hearing this episode, then you are meant to be here, so keep listening. On that Bitches Positive podcast, sometimes we will laugh. Other times, baby, we're going to cry, but we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That is babe in true connection with herself. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not so we can fully step into exactly who we came here to be. I keep hearing over and over and over again, here comes the sun. There is something that you've been wanting since you were a child, and let me just tell you, it is rising to meet you. A lot of us have this experience where it's darkest before the dawn. That is because right before you get to the peak of a mountain, it is the steepest. Right before we receive a manifestation, so much has to be transmuted and integrated in order to be in a frequency that we can hold that blessing, that desire, that manifestation. Right now, you are right before the peak. So you might be feeling like there's so much chaos in your reality, that things and people are falling away from you, that you don't recognize your current circumstance. But let me just tell you, what you're about to receive is going to be so worth the wait, worth the current chaos, worth everything you are releasing. I don't believe that we lose anything. I think we release what's not ours to gain what is ours under our divine right. A mantra that can help you during this season is simply to remind yourself that all that is mine under my divine right meets me now. All that is mine under my divine right meets me now. And reminding yourself the simple truth that you cannot lose what is yours. You only release what was never meant to stay with you. If you allow your anxiety, your ego to run your life right now, you're going to put yourself in a lower vibration and piss yourself off for really no good reason. You are not always going to be able to see how things are coming together for you. And sometimes they do fall apart to fall together. Because you don't understand the specific path that you're on right now, you don't know this path because you've never been here before, you're maybe getting stuck in the mindset of, what am I supposed to be doing right now? I am so confused. I feel like everything's going wrong. When actually, everything's being set up so you can expand into what you've always wanted for your life. I have been receiving the channeled message that a lot of you don't realize you're in alignment because you don't see that manifestation in front of your face right now. I want to remind you that there is a lot that has to be aligned. There's a lot of people who have to be prepared outside of you. There are a lot of moving parts that have to come together in order to get this manifestation to you. We have to remember that while we are the center of our own universe, because we are the point of attraction that is attracting our reality, we are still a part of a broader picture that is the world we exist within. Think about a skin cell. You're not just one skin cell. You have skin cells, you have stomach cells, you have hair cells. You have all these different parts of you that come together to create, to embody your physical vessel. Just like you have different cells that come together to make you, there are a ton of different moving parts, people, places, energies that have to come together to give you this manifestation. It's the same thing with an orchestra. Think about it. Just a violinist is not an orchestra. Just someone on the trombone is not an orchestra. Just someone on the flute is not an orchestra. All of these moving parts come together to create this larger creation. You have to understand that you don't have to necessarily be doing anything right now for this manifestation to rise and meet you. Here comes the sun. Do you yell at the sun for it to rise? Do you curse out the sun to rise? Do you have to run 3 miles in order for the sun to rise? No. You just exist and the sun rises to meet you. With this particular manifestation, let me tell you, it is rising to meet you. There was energetic work you had to do. You've done it. You've done it. What you're being called to do now is to lean into receiving, not doing. You're in alignment and you don't realize that you are. You're in alignment and other things that have to rise to meet you are currently being figured out by your divine team. This is not the moment to say, I'm not good enough, and then drop into a lower frequency and then just elongate the process of waiting. What you want is going to be so worth the wait. You've wanted it since you were a child, and you're getting it. So honestly, right now, what should we be doing? Resting, feeling grateful that it's on its way, and knowing that everything that's under our divine right is going to be in this reality with us. Before we get into today's episode, I do want to remind you, I am a certified life and energy coach. I am a divine channel and guide. If you want one-on-one sessions with me, DM me on Instagram at vibinwithcc for more information on that. I have a couple of programs I'm running right now and would love to be a part of your journey. If you've not yet gotten your copy of Show Up As Her, be sure to do that so you can read and rise and learn how to be in your receptive energy. There's a whole entire chapter on that. And if you want to magnetize every single morning, then be sure to get your magnetizing mug. All of these links will be in the show notes. If you're wanting to work with me, but you're not ready for one-on-one, I have a ton of courses: shadow work, the art of alchemy, the 21-day breakup glow up challenge, the pedestal path, and of course, workbooks as well. If you want to align with something out there, you must first become the energetic match. How are you supposed to manifest something new, something different, a new house, a new relationship, a new career, if you yourself have not changed at all? Right. That doesn't make any damn sense. In order for you to attract that big thing you've been waiting for, you have to become the energetic equivalent. That means that your current routine is going to be interrupted so you can shift in frequency. So if you're noticing, oh my God, I just got fired. Oh my God, I just got broken up with. Oh my God, I have this trip and this thing that I have to do and I feel so chaotic. Your routine is being interrupted for good cause. Everything that's happening in your life, everything you think is happening to you is happening for you, even when it's chaotic, even when it's something we're perceiving as negative, even when we don't understand it, even when it causes us a little cortisol party to happen within our vessel. Everything that is happening in your reality is happening for you so you can achieve and align with whatever's in your divine right and what you came to this planet to do. Instead of looking at your current circumstance and immediately labeling it as something negative, I want you to learn how to sit still in it. Because what so many of us do is we allow our external circumstance to dictate how we're going to feel. We go through a breakup and we say, this is the worst thing ever, I'm going to die alone. And we completely plummet in vibration. And then instead of us moving into the next season, meeting that better match that's for us, we elongate the process of waiting because we're telling ourselves we're going to die alone, we're going to be single forever, and nothing ever works out for us. Be so cautious on how you label what's happening in front of you. Because we don't experience reality, we experience the meaning we give to reality. What meaning are you assigning to your reality right now? Babe, you're in a transition period. You're not meant to understand it all. I'm sorry. Did someone lie to you and say you're going to understand everything all the time? Did someone lie to you and say everything was going to be rainbows and butterflies all the time? If they did, sorry, they're a liar. And I also have no idea what they're talking about and where they got their information. That person doesn't know what they're talking about. Ignore them. Instead, realize that whatever is happening in your reality right now is happening for you. So you can evolve in frequency to attract that which you really want. So if it looks chaotic, if it looks, this is not really what I want, do not drop in frequency by giving it a negative meaning. That does not serve you. If you want to tell yourself, you know what? I don't love this, but I know it's temporary. I know it's a bridge leading me to something greater. I know that it's not happening to me, but for me. You can give yourself something like that. If you're not ready to say this is the best thing to ever happen to me, and I know that it's going to allow me to grow into the best version of myself, you don't need to go there. Okay? You don't need to tell yourself that you are the Queen of England if you don't feel like you're the Queen of England. But what you do want to say is something that's steeped in truth. Don't lie to yourself and say you're going to die alone. Don't lie to yourself and say that no one's ever going to like you. Don't lie to yourself and say that you're not capable of achieving your dreams. There is so much BS out there. Don't become your own damn enemy. Don't become your own damn enemy and lie to yourself about how everything sucks when you actually don't even know. You don't even know how it's all going to unfold. But there you are on your high horse, labeling circumstance, assigning meaning as if you understand how everything's going to turn out. Wow, what a time to make assumptions. Remember the law of assumption? What you assume simply is? Would you look at that? Here's an idea. Why don't you work with the energetic laws instead of having them work against you? You know what I mean? Yeah. Just a thought. Perhaps we could do that. Perhaps we could assume, you know what? I'm a mere human and I actually don't know how it's all going to unfold. So what if I just assumed that everything's working out for me? What if I just became curious that maybe things are working out for me? What if this is actually working in my favor? How might that cause a biochemical reaction in my body, which will then affect my frequency, which will then affect what I broadcast and what I attract? What if? Okay. Maybe you don't want to believe Cece. That's fine. I'm a random woman on the internet. Fine. Don't believe me. What do I care? But can you become curious that maybe it's working out for you? If not for the law of assumption, can you do it just so you don't have a cortisol party in your vessel? Why don't you just test it out? Your life is basically your experiment. Why don't you do this crazy thing where you experiment with better thoughts? What an idea. What a concept. We all go through periods where we feel like everything's falling apart. Do you know how many times I thought everything was falling apart? When I was in college and all of my friends didn't want to be friends with me anymore, that I was friends with from kindergarten throughout high school and then a little bit into college, I thought everything was falling apart. But actually, it was all falling together because it finally gave me time and the confidence to just start posting online. To start leaning into my hobbies, to start figuring out, well, what do I want to do? Them not choosing me forced me to actually choose myself. I thought it wasn't working out for me. Oh, but it was. When I found out that my ex slept with another person and then me in the same 12 hours, thought that wasn't working out in my favor. But then when we went through that breakup, years ago, and I realized, wait a second, days ago, I prayed to find my purpose. Then I find out about this scandal. Ooh, scandals entered the chat. And now I'm leaning into spirituality. I'm learning who I really am. I'm reading books. I'm listening to different podcasts. I thought everything was falling apart, but it was actually falling together. Every single time I thought I had a door closing in my face, it was because 15 others were opening. 15 other doors that I did not perceive at the time, that I didn't know would even make me happy. But oh my God, they gave me so much more fulfillment. They were so much better for me. And ultimately, I realized that if I'm not happy, it's simply because the divine is not done with me. Maybe this season is for you to mold yourself. Maybe this season is because your physical vessel is trying to integrate new energies and you need to give yourself time to rest. I recently went on a retreat and I have been so tired since I've gotten back because I did so much transmuting. I did so much releasing, and now my body's integrating these new energies. So I need more rest. I need a little bit more protein right now for my body to harness and integrate these new energies that I've been trying to get to. In this season, it's not about you necessarily working harder, but actually learning how to balance that divine feminine energy and learning how to allow yourself to receive, allow yourself to rest. A lot of us are struggling with giving ourselves permission to receive. We've been taught to do. You've done enough. Give yourself permission to rest and receive. Think about your desired self. She doesn't feel burnt out every single day. She doesn't feel like she's on the brink of complete exhaustion and depression. So if that's how you feel now, how are you supposed to align with the life your desired version of yourself has if you are existing as a version of yourself you don't even want to be? If you want the life that your desired version of you has, you have to integrate her energies, her mindset, her thoughts. That is why I named my book Show Up As Her. Why does it feel so hard right now? Well, most likely you're having to give up a program that served you in survival, but is not going to work in thrival. You might have a program since you were a child that if you don't burn yourself out, you can't achieve, you can't receive, because that's what you saw your parents do. Society told you that, your teachers told you that, your coaches told you that. And now your vessel's completely exhausted, but you're trying to push yourself through anyway. But your desired life doesn't require you to feel burnt out. Someone needed to hear that. Your desired life doesn't require you to feel like you're completely exhausted all the time. Your desired life actually requires you to have a program where you understand that rest is your divine right. That you're allowed to chill, to breathe, to ground. You're most likely feeling so much resistance right now, uncomfortable, because you have the energetic resistance. Your subconscious mind is fighting this new version of you because your subconscious mind doesn't know this new version of you. Your subconscious mind will always favor the familiar, because even if the familiar sucks, your subconscious mind knows how to exist within it. Even if your familiar is unhealthy, your subconscious mind knows how to exist within it. You have to override your subconscious mind and put your divinity in the driver's seat and say, even though I'm uncomfortable, I'm going to allow myself to rest and receive. Even though I might be uncomfortable, I'm going to allow myself to become this new version of me, because that's what I incarnated for. It's up to you. If you want to keep going round and round and round and round in the same patterns over and over again, be my guest, be my guest, be my guest. But if you want to attract a new reality, okay, you're going to have to use your free will, and you're going to have to override the urge to remain the same. It might be uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie to you. What do I have to gain from lying to you? Nothing. You're experiencing the darkest before the dawn effect, where everything feels chaotic, you feel uncomfortable, and you're actually not really sure what step to take. The step to take is to rest so you can integrate. Take an Epsom salt bath. Take a nap. Do a meditation. Get outside. Be in the sun. You're going to experience an identity crisis. Okay, so what? You're stronger than that. You're capable of moving through that. You are never meant to be one version of yourself for the rest of your life. That is why in the beginning of this podcast, I always say unbecoming who you are not, so you can fully step into who you are. You have existed as a set of programs from other people. Now it's time for you to step into your power and realize you are both the program and the programmer. So what do you want to program? Use your conscious mind to tell yourself what you're going to be like moving forward. Use your conscious mind to tell yourself a new program, a new system. The same way we update our iPhone, our computer, you gotta update the system. What I intuitively feel your system needs to be reminded of right now is that it's cool to rest. And actually, the more I rest, the more I receive. The more I rest, the more financially abundant I become. You get to program that. You can tell yourself that you have to work yourself to the bone in order to be successful, or you can tell yourself the more I relax, the more I receive. The more I laugh, the more I receive. The more I have fun, the more I receive. A lot of us are dealing with unnecessary pain because we have programs that tell us that's the only way to evolve. Sure. Sometimes lessons come in that are painful and they teach us amazing lessons. But no one ever said that the only way for you to evolve and learn is through pain. You can also learn through fun and enjoyment and new relationships and love and hobbies. In my new relationship, I'm experiencing so much love. I'm learning through love. You don't only have to learn through pain unless you are the programmer telling yourself that the only way for you to evolve is through pain. Then what are you going to attract but more painful experiences? That is not the best journey. It can be your journey if that's what you want. That's not what I want. I tell myself that I can learn through love, fun, and enjoyment. So, okay, maybe your old self is resisting the new self, but you can override that. But you can relax into the season. You can tell yourself, well, what if it's all working out for me? What if the more I relax, the more I receive? And then see what your reality starts to do. Experiment with the electromagnetic field that you reside within. That's why you're a human. So you can talk, think, broadcast, and see what kind of results you get. You don't have to change and be set in stone in this new way. You're allowed to say, I'm going to test the electromagnetic field. I'm going to try this and see what happens. And let your manifestations, your reality rise to meet you. Keep in mind that 3D reality is slower than your thoughts and energy. So the second you start broadcasting, it's not like there's going to be a pot of gold at your feet when you open your eyes. The 3D is delayed. We have something called time in this realm. But I'm telling you, if you can make this a practice, you will see results. It could be within a day, it could be within 3 days, it could be within 2 weeks, depending on how much resistance you have. You are about to be at the peak. And right before the peak is the steepest part of the climb. You have to keep going. This is not the time to crash out. This is not the time to burn out. This is the time to rest. This is the time to hydrate. Think about people who do marathons. They don't just go the whole entire time with no water, no food. No, they pack a protein bar. They pack water to hydrate. They pack necessary nutrients so they can finish the marathon. Your life is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So there are necessary thought forms, mindset, rest, rejuvenation, tools, things that you need to do so that you can sustain this marathon. Marathons, not always easy. And when are they hardest? Right before you cross that finish line. So have the tools of the magnetic mug, have the tool of the Show Up As Her book, have the tool as this podcast, have the tools of taking the walk, of grounding yourself. Those things are necessary to keep you moving forward. When I was at the dentist, actually started to meditate because what else am I going to do? And I saw myself in the middle of this storm. And Divine Mother came to me and she said, don't go forward. Don't go backward. Don't go left. Don't go right. She says, rest in the eye of the storm. I know you might feel shaky and uncomfortable. I've been there 1,000 times. Hell, I'm probably there right now. I understand that you might not know how to catch yourself or what step to take. If you don't know how to move forward, don't. Rest in the eye of the storm. If you've ever seen a storm, you've seen the eye of a storm, that's where there's peace. But there's chaos all around it, isn't there? There's wind and debris, trees. Rest in the eye of the storm. Invite stillness into your life if you're not sure how to move forward. And in stillness, you will receive answers. You will receive clarity. But when you're running like a chicken without a head, you're exactly that. You don't have time to process. You don't have time to connect the dots of what to do, how to feel. If there's chaos in your reality, don't become the disease by allowing the chaos to become your internal world too. I also want to point out, you might be feeling a little bit emotionally charged right now. So not only do I want you to invite stillness, not only do I want you to invite new programs, I want you to invite in allowing yourself to emotionally purge. The crying, the frustration, screaming into a pillow, stomping out your feet. In the art of alchemy, we literally do somatic healing body work. I highly recommend. If you're feeling intense, heightened emotions, take the art of alchemy course so you can learn how to channel those energies, alchemize them into your power. This new reality you've been wanting is going to require you to step into your power. And a lot of us have that witch wound. And the witch wound is us fearing to step into our power because we've had so many timelines, so many past incarnations where when we did step into our power, we were burnt at a stake. We were not allowed to do it. And so we were brutally hurt. We were isolated. We were taken away from the group. So a lot of us have this witch wound that won't make sense to us logically, but makes sense to our spirit, which is eternal, our soul. Because we have this witch wound that is afraid to step into their own power, that is another reason that our ego resists the thing that our heart desires. So we feel like we're at war with ourselves because our intuition is saying one thing and our ego is saying another. This is the time to have trust, to question, what if this is all working out for me? This is a time to use that energy, that fear of the witch wound, and to alchemize that pain into your power. To take it and use it as a sword to cut through the BS instead of using it as an anchor to weigh you down. You don't have to do this alone. If you're having trouble with this current season, call on your spirit team. I literally have a workbook called Decoding the Divine where you can learn how to understand angel numbers and call on your spirit team. If you feel like you're alone, I want to remind you that you are in the hand of the divine. I want to remind you that there are spirit beings all around you, loving you, wanting to reach out to you, wanting you to invite them to work on your behalf. Your spirit team, because you have free will and you're the human, they're not going to infiltrate your life in a way that is shocking. They want you to invite them. You're the one with the free will, so you have to invite them to your party, your life. You don't have to do this alone. It's not going to be always easy. It's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, but you don't have to do it alone. And I feel that what really has allowed me to coast during difficult seasons is calling on my spirit team and feeling their unconditional love. From human beings on this planet, a lot of them have conditions for if they're going to love us based on how we show up. If you want to feel unconditional love, if you want to feel support like you've never felt before in your life, call on your spirit team, and the Decoding the Divine workbook will help you do that so that you can get through this season in a way that ends up with you in alignment with your big manifestations instead of you dropping into a lower frequency and beating yourself up all day. Take time, instead of complaining about what you're going through to your coworker, to instead align with a solution and unconditional love by calling on your spirit team. That's another tool for you to harness, for you to use to your advantage. I swear, this reality has so many cheat codes. Yeah, it's the meditation. Yeah, it's the journaling. Yeah, it's the being in stillness. It's also calling on the divine, beings that are all around us, that love us, that want to support us. But we have to call on them. This moment is requiring us to lean into the season, because there is medicine in every single season. And in this season, you're learning how to become a master alchemist. You're learning how to call on those spiritual beings. You're learning how to release what's not yours so you can claim what was always destined for you. You're learning how to release that witch wound of stepping into your power. I'm telling you, so many of us have no idea who the F we are. We have no idea. We think we're just Susie or Betsy or Rebecca or Maddie. We have no idea who we are. You've had incarnation after incarnation of incarnation. You have been through tough times, tougher, I bet, than what you're going through right now, where you didn't have food for weeks, where you had to forage for weeks, where you were burnt at the stake, where you had no autonomy, no ability, even over your own vessel. You've had so many lifetimes where things were so difficult. You can do this. If you're listening to this podcast, you can do this. You can go through this. You're going to come out on the other end so much stronger, so much wiser. And you're going to be looking at yourself in the mirror and you're going to be like, damn, I don't even care about all these amazing things I manifested. Look at who I was able to become through shedding of past versions of myself. Look at what I'm able to feel and exist within and embody through all the work I've done. That's the real prize. Not even what we get out there, but who we get to be at the end of all of this. Pretty cool that you get to be both the program and the programmer. Pretty cool that you are your own greatest creation. Pretty cool that you are the master, the magic, the alchemist, the miracle. Pretty cool that we get to be on this planet together, sharing this moment together. I love you. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see all the beautiful, magical things you accomplish on this planet. You're here for a reason. And remember that even when you feel like you're breaking down, you're really breaking through. The setback, I promise you, it's a setup. It's not falling apart. It's falling together. And you don't need to have all the answers now to at least be curious that maybe, just maybe, it's working out in your favor. As always, the sparkle in me honors the sparkle in you. Joy in the art of alchemy to help you move through these emotions. Be sure to get your copy of Show Up As Her, your magnetizing mug. And if you do want to work one-on-one with me, reach out to me on Instagram at Vibing with Cece. And I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.